Hi, it's Mark. In this video we're going to be covering setting up a redirect code on a site that you're actually going to be hosting yourself on the MMP Maker Pro system. So in this scenario you'll have sent a mock site out to a business. They've asked you to create a full site for them, which you've done. I'm going to be using my Cafe Iberico example as usual, and now they've asked to set this up so it's all working for them. So in this scenario, this will probably be on the business model where you're charging a monthly lease and hosting fee. You're going to be keeping the website on your domain on MMP Maker Pro. So as you can see here, I've got the URL here for this website, which is cafeiberico.mmmakerpro.info. So we don't actually need to move the site. We can leave it exactly where it is. What we need to do though is grab the redirect code and place that on their main website, or give them the code to place on their main website, so that when a mobile visitor goes to the main site, it can redirect to the mobile site that we've created. Now obviously I'm not going to be doing this on a client site. What I'm going to do here is I've set up this is one of my domains here, ebusinessmomentum.com. I've just put a fake site on here for the moment. As you can see, I've just put a lot of text here just to show that there is actually a site on this domain. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to put the redirect code on here so that it redirects to the mobile website. Now there's a couple of tools we're going to be using, and I'll put all the links for things that we're going to be using in this video below this video. One of the ones we will be using is a tool called Mobilizer. Now some of you may be familiar with this if you've used some of my other products, and this allows us to view websites and see how they look on a mobile phone. So I'll put the link for that below this video. So if I go to ebusinessmomentum.com, I just need to put that in here. You can see we have, this is the text on this website here. So what we're going to do is add the redirect code to this website, and then you should see that once we've completed that process, when we put the eBusiness Momentum in again and refresh the screen, we should see that refresh to the Cafe Iberico mobile website that we've created. So there's what you're going to do here, there's two ways this can be done. The first way is you can just actually give the redirect code to your client and get them to pass that on to their webmaster for them to do. So in that scenario, you would just come in here to your dashboard, click on redirect code, select the code, and then you can just right click, copy that, and what you want to do is probably either paste that straight into an email, or I would personally paste it into a text pad or notepad file and attach it to an email with instructions of how to place that on their website. And I'm going to write a quick email template for you that you can use, you can send off to your client and say, I've set up the redirect code for you, please pass this information on to your webmaster. So that's the first way that it can be done, which is obviously the simplest way because it doesn't involve you doing anything. A lot of the time they'll ask you to do it, so what you'll need to do is again ask them for some details, which is called their FTP details, and again I'll write an email template that you can send to them to ask them to request that information. So we're going to be looking at that now. So we've assumed that we've contacted the client and they've sent us their FTP details, which is how we can access their main website to place the code on there. Now to do that, I'm just going to close this for the moment. To do that, we need to use another tool, which is a free tool. These are all free tools that I'm using, and that's called FileZilla, which is an FTP client. And what this allows us to do is upload and download files to websites. So you'll have got your FTP details from your client. Now the usual, this may change, obviously they'll give you the details, but usually up here you need to put in three pieces of information: the host, the username, and the password. The host is usually the website followed after FTP, so it's usually FTP dot, and then in this example ours is ebusinessmomentum.com, and then you need to put your username and password. So I'm just going to put in my username. I'm just going to grab that actually, just one second. I'm just going to pause the video while I grab the username and password. Okay, so my username is Dom473, and I'm just going to put in the password. And then click on Quick Connect. And you can see now this is connecting to the server and to that website. And here on the right are the website files. So on the left pane here, this is my computer, my desktop. And on the right here is the files for the website. So I'm going to be saving anything I'm going to be doing straight onto my desktop, so I'm just going to highlight that file. And when you get to on the right here, these are the website files, always click on public HTML. And here you'll see all the files for their website. Obviously this is just a test, so there's only one file in there at the moment, which is the index HTML. So usually you'll be looking for a file called index. Now 99% of the time this is the case. It may not be HTML, it may be PHP, or it may be ASP or another extension, but usually there will always be a file called index, which is the page that loads when you go to a website. Now sometimes this isn't always the case, it can be a bit more complicated than that. So if you get stuck, or just ask me and I'll see if I can help you. But sometimes, you know, even we, if the way the site's been set up by the original web designer, if it's quite complicated, sometimes we actually pass it back to them and say, look, you'll have to go back to the original guy and get him to do it, because obviously the last thing you want to do is cause any problems with their main website. But most of the times, as I said, it's a pretty straightforward process. You'll be looking for a file called index. So the first thing I'm going to do is download this file, so we can actually add the redirect code to it. And to do that, you just highlight the file, right click, and then click on download, and that file has now been downloaded to my desktop. So let me just minimize this FTP client for the moment. Just move this out of the way, and you can see here, actually this is the file here, index.html. that's the file I've just downloaded. So we need to edit that. Now I'll be using a program called Dreamweaver for that, which is a editing, a HTML editor and code builder, which is obviously a little bit more of a professional tool, which you probably won't have. But what you can do is just right click and you can choose what to open that with. Now you can open it with a text pad. If you do have a HTML editor like I have here, which is a Dreamweaver, you can open it with that. But either will do. Even a straightforward notepad that comes with Windows, you'll be able to carry out this procedure. So let me just click to open this with Dreamweaver. Now in Dreamweaver we have two views here. We have the code view and we have the actual what you see is what you get view. So this is how the website looks at the moment. So if we come up here, you can see straight away 3 lines down we have the word head in 2 brackets here, and this is where we need to be looking. We need to place our redirect code between this and where the head code ends here, which is by a / and then head. So the redirect code needs to go in between these two. And if you see other scripts in there, you'll usually see it says script. Place it before any other scripts is usually best practice. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to click before the last / head and just create a bit of space so we can see some area that we're working in. I'm now going to go back to MMP Maker Pro. I'm going to click on the redirect code for Cafe Iberico. I'm going to select the code, and I'm going to right click and copy that. I'm now going to go back to Dreamweaver, or if you're doing this in Notepad, go back to Notepad. And in that space that you've just created there, just right click and paste that in. So we've now pasted our redirect code into this file. Once you've done that, just click save, and that's now been saved back to my desktop. So let me just go over that very quickly. I'm just going to get rid of it and we'll do that one more time. So once you've downloaded the index file, you're going to look for these 2 indicators where it says head. So you've got head and then / head, and you need to put the code in between those 2. So what I usually do is just put it in before the / head. So just I click just before that. I just always create a little bit of space just so I can see where it is I'm working. You're going to go back to MMP Maker Pro. You're going to click on redirect code, select the code, right click and copy. You're going to go back to our editor and then right click and paste, and then make sure obviously that you save that file. So that's now been saved back to my desktop. So what I need to do now is upload this new file back to the main website server so that will take effect. So I'm just going to go back to FileZilla. Very important that you refresh this side of the pane here, because if you don't, you'll be uploading the old file again. So we're just going to right click and then refresh. I'm going to highlight the index.html. I'm going to right click and then upload. Now, as you can see, it's asking me, this file already exists. Do I wish to overwrite it? Well, yes, I do, because now it's changed. We've added the redirect code. So we'll just click on OK. And that's it. The redirect code has now been added. And to test that, we can go back to our mobilizer. And if I refresh this, we should see this now, because what mobilizer does is pick up a mobile website, so it's going to show us if the redirect code is working, and that should now, when I refresh, send us to the Cafe Iberico mobile website. So let's just refresh the screen. And there you go. So although you can see here we've gone to ebusinessmomentum.com, The redirect script's been picked up. This is noticed that it's coming from a mobile device and we've been redirected to the mobile website. So that's all you need to do to set this up if you're going to be hosting the sites yourself. Now, the other type of site you might come across quite often, especially if it is your own client sites, is a WordPress site. And that's slightly different in terms of where you actually put the redirect code. Now for that you don't need to get their FTP details. What you'll need to get is their WordPress admin details. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with WordPress. Now I'm just going to go into one of our WordPress sites here. This is actually our membership site for Mobile for Realty. So once you get their WordPress details, which is usually their domain /wp-admin, and then you can log in, you'll get to the WordPress dashboard. And what you need to do is come down to here on the left where it says appearance and click on editor. Now obviously every theme is slightly different, but they usually have standard components, and one of those, if you come down on the right, these are all the files that are included with this WordPress theme, is the one here, header, and it says header.php, so we're just going to click on that, and that loads the file for us. So it's pretty much the same view that you're going to see as you would in the HTML editor that we used before. And again, you're going to see here we have head, and then if I come down here a little bit further, you can see where that ends, /head. So it's exactly the same process. Now as you can see on this one, we've already got some other scripts taking place. You can see where it says script type. So what I always do is place the redirect code before any other script, because that's the first thing that we want to get picked up. So I would come back on this one where it says head here. Again, I'll click my cursor and just create a little bit of space so we can see what we're working with, and that's where you'd want to paste the redirect code in. Once you've done that, just click update file and that will be done. And again, you can just test that by going to the domain on your phone and seeing if it redirects to the mobile website, or by using the tools such as Mobilizer. Now I'm not actually going to do that on this WordPress site because obviously our members are in there at the moment, so it's a live site, but you get the idea. So that's how you set the redirect code and set up the system if someone's going to be leasing or even buying a site from you that you're going to be hosting. In another video I'll deal with how you actually download the websites and upload them to a new domain name or a subdomain name of your client. So I shall see you in that video.